Good morning, everyone. Happy Saturday. Hope you all are doing well. Let's take a look and see what's going on with Bitcoin. So, for the day, we covered Friday yesterday. Definitely got a bearish close with that big wick to the downside. Saturday, we have a tiny tail, but definitely, looking like a bullish Saturday so far. We're up about $522 as of right now. Our low has been 63,856, and we've just been climbing ever since then. So, really, what's interesting about this on the daily is you are getting, a continuation above the 50 MA. You're about to get the 21 and the 50 crossing, which can be a bullish sign. Not as much of a guaranteed or probabilistic move like you would see a golden cross being on the 200, but it's always a good thing to see the moving averages crossing on a bigger time frame. Okay, at least to the upside for the bulls, right? Um, Same thing for the 12 hours. So you have the 100 crossing over the 21 crossing over the 100. So another really good sign. You're still above weekly open. Everything that I've been wanting to see, happening so far this week. You have this beautiful inverted head and shoulders like pattern. It tried to head and shoulders here and it completely got smacked in reverse. You got to expect at this point, because of the 6 hour, that we're going to visit this, 8 hour 200 May, which is now at 66,943. So that's going to be your next stop. Is you have to assume that we're going to go there once you, like I said, you do get that golden cross on the 6 hour, which we are. Okay. Another thing that's really crucial, that is further kind of more so guaranteeing, or I never like to use the word guarantee in the markets, but it's making the move more probable, is the fact that the 80 and the 100 are also bundling up and they're getting ready to cross that 200 on the 6 hour as well. So, that being said, still have a very bullish bias, unless we lose, and I talked about this a little bit last night, but honestly, guys, unless we lose, this area where there was Monday midnight open around 60, 62,000, 63,000 ish area, we have to assume that we're going to have a bullish bias. Okay. Even if we were to wick down here or come down here and wick like we did right here, it came right back up and it crossed it again. So for me, I mean, unless we absolutely lose these lows right here, we have to assume that we're going to keep going up. Okay. Let's take a look at the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, definitely getting, we got all of the moving averages cross over the 200 now, which is an extremely bullish sign. And, if you kind of zoom out kind of to where price really, or what the candles truly look like without zooming in too much, you can see how tight those moving averages still are on the 4 hour. So it's basically, the way that moving averages work is after you get the cross, you won't really see a reversal usually until the moving averages get extremely far apart. So, what do I mean by that? Well, extremely far apart to me means something like this, what we saw back at the beginning of June, right? Where, you had that death cross, all the moving averages got away from the 200, and see how far these got and how spread apart they got from the 200. This is what's telling me that, okay, there might be a reversal soon. We should be careful, right? Whenever the moving averages get too far away from the 200, there's going to come a time where they're going to have to consolidate together and basically come back together, which, if it's to the downside, it would mean a reversal, right? Where you would have to consolidate at that price down below and get the moving averages tight again to reverse back to the upside and get that cross. So compared to what this looks like here, to the downside, and to what this looks like right now, you can see how much, you know, of a basically price is ready to just explode, in my opinion, in these meso time frames. Your moving averages are still extremely tight. You have all of them crossing over on the 4 hour. It's just ready to just skyrocket up. And honestly, that could even take you into the 70s easily. If we're gonna get a major reversal, it would be now. So just kind of keep aware of that for next week. I think this is the second to last week of July, so definitely we can get a very big expansive move if it wants to this upcoming week. Let me take a real quick look at what the week looks like. So again, for this is the weekly time frame, and we're currently on this one for July. this week, which today's the 18th. But this is basically looking, this is the candle of the 13th, but this is looking bullish still, and you get that three white soldiers pattern. If it can close above this resistance right here, and obviously above the 200, you can see an explosive move for the next candle. Similar to kind of what we saw right here when we had those three white candle closes here. It basically exploded up for the next few weeks, right? So I'm kind of expecting that if we are going to get, like I said, this candle to close green. Okay. Let me take a look at the 1 hour. So the 1 hour looks like it's breaking out of a bull flag right now. You kind of had this bullish flag pattern here. I'll kind of just quickly draw it out here. But you kind of had this wedge here almost that broke out and is breaking up now. And that kind of, that can take you into that 65,705 area, it looks like. So definitely a very bullish sign for Bitcoin. I got to say, guys, I'm not, unless we get a rollover, which is not as probable at this point, I'm not seeing too much of a bearish scenario for Bitcoin. It looks more so like we've consolidated and now we're ready to skyrocket. 15-minute moving averages are tight. You got above the 200 again. Yeah, everything is spelling out, a massive pump, whether it be this weekend or next week. It just is showing that, the probability is to the upside, right? I can't deny it. It looks really good. 5 minute is the same way. The moving average just got tight. We got above the 200. We're making a flag on the 21. That's all part of the Crypto Lifer semi special, right? So everything is looking amazing. Let me go ahead and take a look at liquidity now. So taking a look at liquidity, you can see how our first target's going to be that 66 area that we always talk about, right? And it ends around 66.3. We have orders to 66.250. 60, is this 60? No, this is 65.250. I apologize. We do have some orders up though to 67. So nothing major yet to 66, but this will definitely populate as we move up. So just keep an eye out on that. So this used to be called Kiyotaka. I guess it's now called Pin Market. So it's openmarket.xyz. This is the new Kiyotaka. It's the new version of it. So now when I mentioned our order book, our free order book, it's still free. It's going to be under Pin Market. Okay. With that being said, Pin Market is telling us that, we have some support right here on 64,250, at least for right now, and it's going to make a move to the upside into the 65 area, it's telling us. So definitely all around bullish so far, guys. Taking a look at our 1 hour. So on our 1 hour, the only interesting thing here is that trend diff is showing a 0 for everything, which is odd because usually it catches on to if the trend is an uptrend here. But again, it kind of targets right now at least 700-ish area. You have some orders to 65,250, which is targeting this right here. So yeah, I mean, you have legs to just keep going up, guys. I mean, honestly, there's nothing red that's going to reverse price. There's some red down below to that 61 level we keep talking about, but we'd have to get more bridging liquidity down here to get us down to that point. And we'd have to lose the 4 hour and the 6 hour 200 MA to get down to this point as well. And neither are looking like it's going to happen anytime soon. So this is probably one of those save for later liquidity pools, or it might even just go away. But as of right now, my assumption is we're going to just keep going up higher and slowly climb for the remainder of the week. Now, once Sunday's, 5 o'clock weekly close hits and a new candle opens, I can definitely change my tune with that. We could get a wick down. But until then, I'm under the assumption that for the remainder of the week, we're just going to keep slowly climbing higher. Okay. 15-minute. So 15-minute kind of showing that same picture, the slow climb higher, right? Ideally for Saturday, and I never want to see the weekends do massive moves because usually that spells out a lot of trouble for the actual week. So I would like to see a slow grind higher, or even just a consolidation where we just kind of bounce around, chop around, but it's really going to depend on the 4 hour and 6 hour on how aggressive they want to get with their golden crosses and whatnot. So those are the two major time frames that I would definitely keep in mind and watch for the day is the 4 hour and the 6 hour. Those are going to be your guiding factors into where price is going to go. Okay. Let me take a look at the 5 minute finally. So 5 minute, yeah, you have some at 65.6, it looks like. That's some red, once I zoom in, and then you have some up here at 67.5. I mean, you have all of this to just completely plow up and wipe, even up to 68,000, there's some red. So just, if you are shorting, guys, just be very careful because this is we got something that happened on the 4 and the 6 hour with that golden cross that hasn't happened for, I think, the 6 hour. It's been a couple months now. I want to say about 3 months we checked. And so that can spell out a major, major reversal to the upside. So anyways, guys, let me take a final look at the simple map while we're at it. So simple map, kind of spelling out the same thing. You got the 100x, the 50x, the 25x to the upside. You do have some 100x directly to the downside to take you down to about 63,540. So if it had to go down a little bit, it could go down to about that point, I would say. You definitely have some 50x here as well. So it does spell out you could go down to 63, 65, 63.5. But the probability is that you're going to start taking out this to the upside, getting back into the 65K range is what it looks like, maybe around 65.2-ish, I think we said, which is right around there, that little peak right there. So definitely the, scalping time frames, your 5, your 15, your hourly, it is showing that there's more of a probability to the upside for right now. The swing time frames, let's take a look. So swing time frames are honestly showing the exact same thing. You have a lot of, potential liquidity to the upside, right? You have all of these bars to the upside that includes the 25, the 10, the 5, even some 3x to take out to the upside to 65.2-ish range. So definitely a lot of shorts to wipe out for today if it wanted to. You do have some 25x to the downside, again, to that 63.5 area. So overall, guys, here's what I'm targeting. If we go to the downside, you're going to target 63.5, okay? Around that area. If we do continue our move to the upside, we're going to possibly find some resistance around 65.2. That's what these orders are telling us, and that's what liquidity is telling us. As long as we can consolidate and we can keep grinding up higher, I would expect we could then test 66,000 and even get higher than that. But we might find some resistance around 65.2-ish area if we keep grinding higher for now. With that being said, guys, that is what I have for you for today. As usual, if you guys want to access Trading Different and utilize its tools to identify bias and see all of the liquidity that I'm able to see, and help you with your trades, feel free to use my code Sean to get 10% off of that. So it's tradingdifferent.com/code/Sean. All right, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Unfortunately, I will be out of town the rest of the day, so I won't be able to provide you with another update today. But with that being said, I will be live tomorrow, or I will give you a video update tomorrow morning. And I probably will give you another one as well in the evening too. So I'll give you 2 videos tomorrow, but unfortunately I can't do that today. But anyways, I hope you have a wonderful day with that being said, and have a great weekend. Take care.